Dive Into the Longbox. This is your free edition, free version for you people. Who like free stuff. This is for you. If you're listening to this, you're probably listening to this on Spotify, iTunes, whatever it is. We also have it free on Patreon. Make sure if you want to get the full Dive Into the Longbox issues, this is the one shot. Obviously, these are play on comic book terms for people who don't know. Yeah. But if you want the full issues every month, it is only now $2 on Patreon to get those full issues. Once again, we got Drew here, Opie, joining me on. Here for one shot.
Unless you're hearing this before the other episode, then hello.
Yes. However you're listening to this, you'll hear us on both. The one shot for people who don't know.
We totally did this on different days. What are you talking about?
Yeah, totally different days.
Not back to back.
For people who don't know, one shots that we do, they're just one quick topic to give you a little preview of what you get on the full issues. But we don't want to just be cheapskates and crop out a portion of the podcast. We want to give you something unique and new.
Too much work.
Exactly. Too much work. So let's just record a whole new one. But, of course, every time we do a comic book of the month with one shot, this was supposed to be Ajax week, so I'm going to give you some time to think about it when we get there at the end of just a comic book that you're a fan of.
Too much pressure.
Yeah, not one that you don't have to give the rundown of what it was, just one you like to shout out. Okay. So it's not too hard. And by the way, I forgot to tell you that ahead of time, so you were finding this out when everyone else is.
Yeah, I'm running through so many different things in my head right now.
You have until the end of this, but...
90s Undertaker comic book.
I just bought the Kevin Nash book.
Ultimate Warrior!
My goal is to collect... You know what? We talked about, if people missed it in the last issue, we talked about Dream Series we love to collect. I'm currently getting the Kevin Nash. All 3 books he got.
Oh, shit.
I'm getting them all. But for here, we got a topic to talk about.
Only
here.
Gem Mint 10s.
We have a topic here that I brought up on Twitter that I'd love to hear people's opinions on, and especially yours. It is, what is in history the best adaptation from comic book to live action? I discussed it with you. My favorite was John Kent and Clark Kent from Smallville. That is probably one of the best adaptations of their father-son dynamic that I think the movies have.
So you're not talking like a direct adaptation. You're talking about just reference or like versions, different versions.
Yeah, something they pulled from the books, whether it's a character, how they talk to one another, something that was from the book that was like, oh, that's fucking perfect. Another quick example, the way Barry Allen plays, or the way Barry Allen is in the CW show.
Grant Gustin.
I think Grant Gustin plays that well to the comic book
of
a fun Flash who also deals with a lot of trauma and has a lot on his shoulders.
Oh, Grant Gustin carried that show. I mean,
yeah.
You can say whatever you want about the last couple seasons, but Grant Gustin's never fallen flat.
Nope.
The dude's consistent.
Well, I wish the Flash he doesn't fall flat.
Yeah, I wish he
keeps running.
I wish he was the Flash that they were running with in the series.
God, I hope. Can you imagine if they?
I'm glad we got years with him instead of just.
Can you imagine if they end the Flashpoint movie and Grant Gustin and he pops up?
So, hello, guys.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah, this is me now. And then everybody'd be like, all right.
You're like, cool.
Fuck it. Let's do
it. We'll take it.
Yeah, let's go. Oh, man. The movie gets a lot of slack, but I know what he was trying to go for, and I mean, I'm probably gonna catch some shit for this too, or crap. Sorry, I know it's the free version.
Oh, you can still curse.
Yeah, shit. Ben Affleck's version of Frank Miller's Batman is like, you could tell he was like, oh, we're doing Frank Miller's Batman? I'm in.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Like, oh, I love Frank Miller's Batman. So then, like, just the nods to it, you know, armored Batman and the Superman fight and, you know, the mask being broken and the shot with him holding the rifle from, like, that's right out of the books.
Yep.
Like, man.
When he jumps off the building, the lightning strike happens.
Yeah, like all that stuff. It was like, dude, Ben Affleck is Frank Miller's Batman.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was so sick. And I think Ben Affleck's Batman's been one of those things where people didn't know what they had until it was gone. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, oh, he's not going to come back. And like,
we get one last ride
but
with
we
him.
like him.
We get one last ride with him.
But he's actually really good. Like, what are we doing here? And it's not just that. Like,
Kevin Smith was right. He's a good Batman.
He is a good Batman. And he loves Batman. There's a reason why when we watch Mallrats, his picture in the opening intro is just Buttman, but it's supposed to be Batman, and it's Ben fucking Affleck. And like, he loves Batman. So it's I didn't think we got enough time with him as Bruce Wayne playing those two roles. But this is also Batman who's been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah.
I'm just Batman. Like,
Yeah.
Fuck everything else. Like,
That
I'm rooting
reminds
for
me of
Batman.
the comic book where someone put it on Twitter, and it's a panel of Wonder Woman's lasso of truth.
Yeah.
And it's Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman holding it. And she goes, "Let's find out who we really are." And she goes,
Oh,
they
he
all
goes,
hold
"I'm
it.
Batman."
Yeah, they hold it. They go,
Yeah.
"I'm Donna Troy," or "I'm whatever."
I'm
always
Clark
forget.
Kent.
Yeah.
I'm Donna Troy.
Yeah.
I'm Batman.
Yeah, because I'm Batman.
Like, no, he's like, I'm Batman.
Yeah. And if you think about it, that's kind of
Yeah.
true, man. He's Batman more than Bruce Wayne's his alter ego.
Oh, and I love the part where, and it's not. All right, we're kind of getting sidetracked here, but I mean, that character is so like deep into that. Like, this is who I really am,
Mm-hmm.
and it always goes back to the part where they're like, "Oh, you got," when Justice League got mad at him and they kicked him out, and they're like, you got all these weapons that can kill us. Like, what if you turn bad? What if you're the one that goes evil
Yeah.
and turns on all of us? Who's gonna stop you? And he turns around and says, "You guys." Like,
Yeah.
the Justice League.
Yeah.
Okay, like it's like you don't think I thought about that either? Like,
Yeah, I forgot. There's some recent animation that it's been making the rounds again, where he's like, "Oh, I gotta call Superman," and Superman's shot by a kryptonite bullet, and he's like, "Oh fuck, I need to get a kryptonite knife made to cut him open." And he
yeah.
calls the Flash, and he's like, "Flash," and he's like, "I can't go. I have a bomb strapped to me, and
Yeah.
if I run or if I stop running, I'll blow up." He
Have
goes,
a-
"Fuck," and he calls Green Lantern. Green Lantern doesn't pick up, and he goes, "God damn it, Alfred, give me the Batmobile." He goes, "Why?" He goes, "The Justice League's under attack." He goes, "By who?" And he goes, "By me."
By me, yeah.
And there was like another Batman like
Yeah.
foiling his plans, and like it was like an
Yeah,
evil Batman.
multiverse,
Yeah, it was like but which I thought, I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like,
Yeah.
he knew, because he says it to the Flash. He's like, "Do you have a bomb on you?" And he was like, "Yeah, I got a bomb, and if I stop," he goes, "Oh,
And he
fuck."
knew. He was like, "Fuck, all right,
Yeah.
these are all the.
And then he immediately called Green Lantern, and Green Lantern didn't pick up, so he knew. He was like, "Okay, yep,
They're all busy.
this is a problem.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep, this is a problem."
But it's like, man, that Ben Affleck Batman was like so Batman.
And he captured that. I think if
Yeah,
they give him
it
more
was
time, he
so
captured that.
Batman. It was just like, man, this is like finally what I've been waiting for. When he comes from the shadows and he's in that, when he's on the fucking wall in that
Oh,
opening
man.
scene, and you're just like, oh, it's Batman. It's a fucking, yeah, play the song. Dun, 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 dun. Like, this is it. I loved his Batman.
And we do want to give flowers where they're due. Robert Pattinson plays
Robert
the new
Pattinson
Batman.
was awesome. Like, he
Plays
was
it so
the
well.
voiceover was
We're
sick.
not downplaying his Batman.
If that movie wasn't 4 hours long, I'd watch it every day. Like,
Yeah.
because I loved that Batman. I can't fucking wait for the next one.
Mhm.
But it's like, yeah, you know what? Ben Affleck's gonna make his Batman in the Flash. I'm gonna be there first fucking day. Like, yeah,
Yep.
let's go see Batman. Like,
I mean,
ain't
and
Mike
he's-
Keaton's coming back?
Yup, like, come on,
I'm
bro.
getting two of the best Batman ever. Let's
Yeah.
do this. You know? It's like, but that was great, and Henry Cavill got such a bad rap just because people didn't like the ending of Man of Steel. People forget that was like his first day as Superman. Dude learned how to fly last night.
Yeah.
Zod attacks this morning, and everybody's like, "Wow, the city got destroyed." Like, yeah, he just started today. Like, today was his first day. Like, he
And
went.
he got the worst customer ever.
Yeah, he got his cape, then he flew to the desert and turned
Yeah.
himself in. That's what he did. First day of
Yeah.
work. Like,
Can you imagine?
got my cape, guys. Want to arrest me? Like,
And it's not like it was like, all right, first day on the job, all right, it's a bank robber. No, it's another Kryptonian that
Yeah.
could fucking murder him.
I can murder him. Like,
No, actually, there was three of them.
Three of them.
Three Kryptonians.
Keep in mind, one of them was like 8 feet tall, maybe 280 in Kryptonian weight.
And
Like,
the other one has a Karen haircut. So
yeah, it's like Karen Kryptonian. Like, this is crazy. It's like that was his first day. Who was he fighting? More Kryptonians.
Yeah, like, oh,
not even in the original Superman movie did he fight the Kryptonians
Yeah.
first. He got at least a year or two in before the
in his
Kryptonians
whole
showed
life,
up.
he's been the strongest person he knows. Now people are kicking his ass. It's
Yeah,
like,
first day
whoa.
of the job.
Yeah.
Like the first day.
Like,
It's
all right,
like, yeah,
I'm
you
ready-
know what? A couple buildings got destroyed, guys.
I was about
Fuck
to-
off.
I was
You're
about to
alive,
say-
right?
I was about to say, all right, time to go save a cat. Oh wait, just kidding. I'm going through 6 buildings.
Yeah, it's like, come on. Oh, who did Christopher Reeves fight the first one? Lex Luthor. Like,
All right.
okay. Like, I didn't even fight him. Like, I dropped him off in jail at the end. Who did I fight? A chain with kryptonite on it. Like, that's who he fought in his first movie. Who's this one got? 3 Kryptonians and a Kryptonian
Like, oh,
army.
shit.
Like, yeah, oh man. And then who defeats the Karen Kryptonian? Stabler. Like, oh man.
Oh,
If Benson was there, that movie would have been over halfway through. Like, oh man, 2 of them.
man. Jesus.
But Cavill, man, great Superman,
Yeah.
Superman. That one shot where he floats up, he hovers, and he tells Zod that I'm gonna stop you. It's like, oh, that looks like Superman right out of a comic book, right there. And he flies towards them, and they beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued to see who they cast for
You
Superman.
can't do a Superman movie without destruction. Like,
Yeah.
there's like, unless you're gonna put every movie like Dragon Ball Z in the fucking desert, like you can't. You gotta have destruction. You gotta have risk and stuff like that. Like even the people talk so much crap about that last 20 minutes of that movie, but it's like, you guys don't watch the animated movies? Everybody loves the animated movies.
Yeah.
See the destruction that happens in that fucking
Buildings are
movie?
being
They are
flipped in half.
murdering people in those movies. Justice League, what was it? 1 with Darkseid shows up.
Yep.
Parademons are killing people.
Yeah.
Like, they are killing people, and the Justice League are stopping them. Like, they're trying to limit destruction.
Yeah.
That's what Superman was trying to do. Like, I have to limit this.
Yeah.
You know, so what did he do? He fucking breaks his neck. Like,
Yeah.
I gotta stop this guy. I can't stop this guy. He's gonna kill his family. Not on my watch. I'm
And,
just fucking murder
and
him.
even a little preview, my comic where my character Ultimo, he's like a Superman.
Yeah.
The opening minutes, there's buildings being busted in half.
Yeah.
Like that's just how it would be in real life.
I'm like,
you
oh,
got to think realistic.
Superman wouldn't kill.
Like,
what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, you know what? Maybe he killed Doomsday. I mean, that's different, I guess.
doesn't
But
have
he
the
was still
Batman
a
oath.
living creature.
He doesn't have the Batman oath.
No, and like later
People
on,
think that like he has that, but like if he doesn't
no,
have to kill,
he just
won't.
chooses not to kill
Yeah.
because he wants to show everybody like you don't have to do this.
Yeah.
You know, meanwhile,
Unless this is Injustice.
meanwhile,
there's a lot of people.
or unless you're Wonder Woman who just like murder him.
Rest in peace, the Joker. in
Oh, is
Injustice.
this Doom? Oh, is this Zod? I can cut him up. Lasso of Truth. He'll tell me how to beat him right now.
Yeah, honestly, yep.
Murder him.
But yeah,
But
he
I
nailed
mean,
it.
listen. Say what you will about the Zack Snyder universe, but the definition of Batman in like the '80s and the '90s, I would say, and even New 52, Ben Affleck, that dude's Batman was spot on.
Yeah.
We didn't get enough time with him as Bruce Wayne to say, oh man, he was the best all around. Just like we didn't get enough time with Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne to say, oh man, he's great. And
His Bruce is okay. So the Bruce we know, obviously, is the billionaire playboy. But like, if you're thinking realistically, like your parents were killed in front of you, and you are thrown into this life you don't want.
Well, that's why, like,
and I think he plays it well. Of like this,
Christian Bale played it
he's
well.
like-
He's like, I don't give a fuck about any of you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm rich. I'm gonna spend this money.
yeah.
And do
Well, that's
whatever
what
the
I
hell
think
I
about
want.
Robert
Yeah.
Pattinson's. People were like, I think people understood. It's like he's depressed. Like he's not happy, and I think a little part of him wants to die.
I think going into
you know
this
what I mean?
next
So
movie,
he goes to these fights, maybe hoping he dies.
I think
you know?
going into this next movie, we're gonna start to see
Him
him and
becoming-
Alfred be like, listen, you gotta be somebody else.
And we kind of saw that at the end where he shows up and he's Bruce and he's like trying to be like a public figure again. And I think we'll see that where he realizes, okay, I have to keep my personal life
The same way the
separate.
city needs Batman, you know, the city also is going to need Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, you could either be a shithead like that or you can be the hero like that.
Yep.
You know, be both of those. Just so, I mean,
Yeah.
it's cool. Just like George Clooney, great Bruce Wayne, bad Batman. Val Kilmer, great Batman, bad Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton, I feel like we didn't get enough time with Michael Keaton.
Wanna
as
get
Bruce
crazy?
Wayne. Yeah. Let's get crazy.
It's iconic. That's awesome.
But you know, I think we got almost the same amount of time with Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne, but as Ben Affleck's. But the problem was, both of those Bruce Waynes were still just Batman unmasked.
Yeah.
You know, for most of the time, when you got to see them be Bruce Wayne, Playboy billionaires, it was like, oh, these dudes, yeah.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck was like, oh, nice shoes, you know,
Yeah.
I was fucking drunk or whatever. But then the girl walks away and his expression changes. Like,
Yep.
I know what I'm here for.
Yeah.
But right when she shows up, it's like, yeah, bathroom over here. Like, but yeah, those are my favorite adaptations. Those from movies.
I'll say probably for movies too, which is probably my number one pick for it. Blade 1. It is just
Blade 1. Yeah,
It is.
Yeah.
Oh,
You can still
so
watch it right
good.
now, and
It holds up.
It's almost like they released it last year.
Yeah.
It's so sick.
Yeah,
So
like
sick.
even to the point because we know Marvel movies, they're gonna be, they're gonna be good.
Yeah.
But like when they announced Blade, I'm like, oh, they got some big shoes to fill because Blade 1 is like,
Yeah, it's
It's
got to be
fucking
good.
great,
Like
you know what I mean?
can't just be okay because people will
Yeah.
automatically be like, oh, well, Blade 1 was better.
yeah,
You know, it's got to be R.
Mhm.
It's got to be. You don't got to be bloody, but you got to be violent,
yeah.
and it's got to be like.
I mean, I think you should if it's a vampire story,
You gotta embrace
it's gotta
it.
be bloody.
You gotta embrace it.
Yeah.
You gotta take the Deadpool route where like, listen, yeah, we're just gonna fucking go with it, embrace it. And
And I think
whatever
that's one that's
happens,
comic
happens.
accurate too. Perfect
Oh,
adaptation.
you're gonna
Deadpool,
have to,
like,
yeah.
Deadpool.
Especially with what I'm hearing with the rumored cast is, it's like, Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So everybody's in here. All
We
right,
might get
cool.
Wolverine in the suit.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah.
Please. If there's
I just,
anyone that could do it, it's Ryan Reynolds. He
Yeah.
can get this done. This
I mean, he
motherfucker
said
brought
he wasn't gonna do
brought the
Deadpool
most
without
comic
the suit.
accurate Juggernaut of all time.
Yeah.
Like, oh, come on.
Shit, it's the Juggernaut.
That was the best kept secret ever because when he showed up,
Yeah.
we were watching. We're like, what the fuck is the Juggernaut?
Everybody in the theater, because we saw that opening night, everybody in the theater was like, what the fuck? Nobody knew it was the
And I
Juggernaut.
think that's Ryan Reynolds playing the voice, right?
I think he plays the voice of
A
Juggernaut.
That's
yeah.
awesome. He fucking rips
Rips
him in
it
half.
out.
I'm like, oh
It's
man.
like, oh shit. Can you sign my autograph?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
just. I think we're starting to get a
Also,
lot
we
more.
can't like comic book adaptations like Deadpool is like, come on, that's like
Yeah, that's textbook.
somebody like
that's
that-
the Bible for that. For
It's
doing
so
that.
rare for something to be that accurate, that funny, that good, like
Yeah.
that you can watch it over and over.
And I
over
think
again.
it's because
and
that
he did
movie.
it twice.
It's
like,
because of that movie. I think people are now like, okay, maybe we can just
can do this.
the stuff in the book and it
yeah.
works. Like,
oh,
you saw-
without
and
Deadpool,
then-
you don't get Logan. Like,
or Moon Knight. Moon Knight was
yeah,
straight out the
Moon Knight,
book, and it's
yeah.
like, all right. So also Daredevil was really good too, from the Netflix.
Daredevil.
the
Yeah,
Netflix-
Daredevil was great.
Daredevil.
I mean, Wilson Fisk and Daredevil was
Mhm.
intimidating as shit. I mean, the first episode you meet him, he tears the guy's head off with a door.
Yeah.
Like, oh fuck.
And I like that he was larger when that show ended. He was like actual, like starting to get
Big
big,
as
like
hell,
Kingpin.
yeah.
And I'm like, fuck. And then like
the way they
they
shoot
cancel it.
that
I'm like,
is
God
like,
damn it.
this dude, you're fighting a mountain. Like,
Yeah.
you're fighting.
Also, I don't know if you saw the pictures real quick on Daredevil topic. It's from the set where they're filming in New York. And it shows a little kid getting bullied by kids in the street.
Oh, you think
and
they're
it's
doing
like,
flashbacks?
and it's back in the '80s, and I'm like,
Yeah, they're doing
dude, I
flashbacks.
think we're getting like that
Origins.
that origin, but if they nail it like the comic, I think it was
Where
Miller.
his dad- where
It
his-
was Miller, right?
It
That
was Frank Miller's Daredevil.
I have the issues in there.
yeah,
with
where-
Electra and all
was it
that.
Man Without Fear. I
Man
think
Without
it
Fear.
was?
Yep,
So it's like,
which is great.
yeah, well, that's the one where the Ben Affleck one pulled a little
Some
bit
from.
from where it was his dad was the boxer who worked for Kingpin, and Kingpin was the real reason why
Yep.
he was dead and things like that.
Yep,
yeah.
yep. But,
That was cool. Yeah,
but when I saw that, I was like, oh shit, we're gonna get this flashback.
yeah. I
I'm
mean,
excited.
Man, I'm trying to think. What are some other? But yeah, you mentioned it earlier. I mean, Smallville was just like,
Yeah,
I stuck around for 10 seasons waiting for this guy to fly.
yeah.
Like,
and we
and
kind of got it.
the cool thing is the last season. Some people talk crap about the last season, but it was like last season was just like, listen, we're ending.
What was it? The
So,
Blur.
Yeah, we don't. But they were like, we're ending. We don't give a shit.
Dude, they did
who
so
we
much
upset.
shit.
So it was like, oh, who you want on there? Booster Gold, got him. You know, oh, who you want? The Wonder Twins, got him.
Yup.
Like
I remember I watched that, and I'm like, because the first season's like,
Blue Beetle, Booster Gold, Supergirl comes back with
Yeah.
no costume, somewhat.
we
a
got
costume.
the fucking Justice League.
The
at
Justice
one
League
point.
show, Justice Society.
Justice Society.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hawkman, Doctor Fate.
Cyborg.
They do a flashback to Green Lantern. Like
Mhm.
they're
Yep.
just like, we can't show Batman, and Superman. All right, we can't show
And
Batman, and Wonder Woman.
they mentioned Batman.
They mentioned them a
They
couple
talk
times.
about a billionaire in Gotham.
in Gotham, yeah, and then Lois has that Wonder Woman-esque
Mm-hmm.
costume or whatever. But it's like, all right, we can't do that. No, you can't do that. All right, so we're just gonna do everything else.
Yeah.
Like, everything else. Yeah, everything but Hawk Girl.
And I think a show that, and I don't know if people see this or if it's just me, I think a show that carries on the feeling of Smallville is the new Superman and Lois. I think it carries
It's
on that
fantastic.
feeling of
Yeah, it's
Smallville.
great.
Because there was one part I loved, and it's when it was like a school reunion in Smallville, and the
Yeah.
fucking logo on the school was the Smallville
Smallville.
TV show
Yeah.
logo, and I was like, oh my god!
Yeah.
But I think he plays Superman so well. He plays Superman and Clark so well that I'm like, fuck, man, why can't he be the one in the movies?
Still
'Cause
has the
he's so
greatest TV show adaptation theme song
Yeah.
since X-Men '92.
Yep. Yep. That's-
Somebody sing.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, and they
so,
played that in Superman and Lois when he
yeah.
goes to Smallville. I'm
Yeah.
like,
it was the
bro.
crossover,
Yep.
event. Yeah. But
no,
I mean,
this was separate. This was in season 1 where it was like a class event, and he had to go
And they
back to
played it?
Smallville, and the logo on his school was the TV show logo, and it played the
'cause
Smallville
I know
song
they played
again.
it in, what was it? It wasn't Crisis yet. It was
It was one where Lex went to Smallville to see the Smallville.
no, that was a
Clark.
different one. It was the one before that,
Oh.
where they cut and then they play it, and you're on the farm, and you think it's gonna be Tom Welling Superman, but it's when they introduce.
Oh, and they do the camera angle and everything of the farm.
and they
I know what you're talking about.
and that's when they introduce Tyler Hoechlin
Yep.
as Superman.
I know what you're talking about.
And then the next crossover, Crisis
I
Beneath
think
the Earth, it's finally
It's
Clark.
Flash and
Yeah.
Green Lantern because they jump through a portal. When they go to jump through, that's when it cuts into the song. if I'm correct. That I think
Oh, it's
that's what
Arrow.
it was.
Arrow.
It was Arrow.
Yeah, it's Arrow and
They-
Flash. They
yep.
jump through. Yeah, and it's the song. Like, you're
Yeah.
like, oh, they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it. It's like psych. It's like, oh. But then the next Crisis on Crisis on Infinite Earths, they finally do
Yeah.
it, and he's just like, yeah, I gave that up, man.
Yeah.
It's like I've done it all. Like,
And if you watch the show and you see that ending, you're
it's
like,
a great ending.
I'm cool with that.
It's cool. Yeah.
Because if
It's-
you watch the whole time
because
of the
this
show,
technically takes place after seasons 11 and 12, which were the comic books.
Yep. Which
So
I'm
this
currently in the middle
is-
of reading, and we're gonna get the animated show for still.
And the animated show. So
So-
I'm guessing the animated show is gonna lead into him saying, "All right, I'm done."
Yeah.
You know, the twins are in there. They talk about the twins and that. So I was like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like,
And I'm
I
cool
did
with
it
that.
all.
I'm
Like he grabs the
excited.
kryptonite. He's like, fuck this. I'm
Yeah.
out here. My question is, are the kids super because he just threw random kryptonite onto the field?
Dad, I don't feel too good.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Like, oh shit.
Damn it, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Get back in the house.
Get inside.
But yeah, I think like,
Don't you stop eating rocks.
but while I love Arrow, I wish they made him a little bit more funnier like he was in the comics. I think
Yeah.
we still are yet to have a comic accurate Arrow. But don't get me wrong,
Stephen
Arrow,
Amell is
he played it
like,
great. He was
man.
a good Batman-esque Arrow.
He-
That was awesome.
Yeah.
But we haven't gotten the quick-witted Arrow that he is in the books.
Yeah.
That I think I still want to see.
We
and
got
I think,
we got a different version of Arrow.
yeah, and it
there.
was good.
Yeah.
It was great, and I loved it. But I
I
kind of
didn't like
I'm
what
ready
they
to
did with the whole
see-
Spectre thing at the end.
No.
You know, but fuck, man, everything else they did up until then
Yeah.
was great.
But yeah, I think I'm ready to see that.
He's coming back next
And
week, I
listen,
think, too.
People can say what they want, but I think I want to see the mustachioed Green Lantern. I want to see that. And
Charlie Hunnam's been my dream cast
yeah, that'd be
for
awesome.
that for years because man, he's got the swagger, he's got the
And he can do
humor.
funny. He can
He
do
can
funny.
do funny. Like he's good. Why? I mean, he was in. Oh man, what was it? Was it Kingsman?
I never saw
I forget
Kingsman.
what movie he did. Where he's got the whole thing, and it's like, yeah, that's fucking. It's Green Arrow.
Yeah.
Like, you should just let him be Green Arrow, guys. Fuck
Yeah.
that up. Like,
But
that was great.
Drew, is there as we wind down here, is there like one comic book that you don't have to get the story of that you're just a fan of that you love to give a shout out for here on One Shot? Last one, just give you a thing. My on the last one was X-Men #1 by Jim Lee and Chris Claremont. That was mine last time. There's a lot of.
Could I
good books.
do a trade, like a volume?
Oh yeah,
novel?
you can do whatever you want.
It's the same one I recommend to anybody who hasn't read a comic book in like the last 10 years. It's Greg Capullo, Scott Snyder, Batman #1, The Court of Owls.
Yeah.
Volume 1, The Court of
Yep.
Owls. It made me fall in love with Batman all over again. The story that happens in there, the maze scene where it's confusing, and then the next thing
It makes you turn the book and you don't realize the book's
yeah.
upside down at this point. You're like,
yeah,
what the
you're
fuck?
like- and it's so crazy, and then the time that passes during that you don't even like put in your
And then
head.
they say how long it's been. You're like, what the fuck?
yeah, and you've been gone for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, you're like, what? Like,
it's
crazy.
perfect. And the introduction to Talon, who's like
the coolest.
the coolest
Coolest
Batman
villain.
villain ever from like that they've introduced into the rogue galleries, because
Yeah.
there've been a couple that have been introduced that never really stuck around.
What show is it recently? That Gotham Knights show? They just like put Talon in. I'm like, you don't just
Oh, it's Gotham.
you don't just
That is
put
like
Talon in.
some random Talon and like Court of Owls, and then like the mutant leader was in there.
Yeah,
as, like,
you don't just throw
a
those aren't
knockoff or
throwaway
whatever.
characters.
Yeah, those are like man, mutant leader was like iconic.
Those
Like,
are seasons
he was
you
in there
base
for
around.
like 2 minutes. Like, and I remember when
base
the
it around those people.
when the set pictures came out, they were like, "Oh, the mutants, they're coming! It's gonna be the same season as Court of Owls." So people were like, "Oh, maybe they're related. Maybe they're like just the muscle for the Court of Owls in the shadows." It was nothing like the book. Nothing. And I was like, "Oh man," but it was still cool to see.
Yeah.
He said the words like, "Oh, Spider."
Yeah.
And then you had the visors on the other one, so that was cool to see. But
Court of Owls is actually something because like I would get books a lot, and for a while I stopped because I started like just collecting figures, and I think Drew could even attest to this. These long boxes did not exist before
No.
2020. Like I've been doing a lot of buying with comics in the past 3 years, but before that, the first book I read in a long time was Court of Owls, and I fucking loved it because you let me borrow it, and I think we still have it over there. It's in the bin, but
There's two from that, like that whole Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo run is really good, but there are some stories in there that were just so definitive. It was like, damn, this is some good shit. You know, Court of Owls, I think there's Court of Owls, 0 Year, there makes the Riddler a threat for the first time since Hush. And I mean, and of course, Joker. I mean,
Yeah.
his whole arc from when he breaks out of Arkham, how he breaks out of Arkham is iconic and terrifying at the same time. What he does afterwards with the family, with the Bat family, like they gave the Joker his own omnibus of side stories from other comic books that he did during that whole terror streak that he went on in between those issues of Batman.
Yep.
I have them both. They're right next to the volume. It's that volume, and then boom, and then all the way at Endgame, which is pretty much the end of Snyder and Capullo's Batman story, and the way they end that with Batman and the Joker is just like they could do no more Batman books, and this will be a great.
There's
fitting
something
ending.
about that time frame too of DC Comics where it was just,
Everything was
it was
good.
home run. Like,
Everything was good.
like Blackest Night, Flashpoint, Court of
Man,
Owls.
Blackest
like,
Night was great.
everything was great.
That little 5-year span there, it's like Blackest Night was.
They
like
were the king of
fucking
comics.
balls to the wall, crazy man.
I think even to this day they're still putting out some of the best stuff above Marvel.
Oh, way above what Marvel's doing.
Yeah.
I
Marvel's too tied down to the movies right now. They're
Yeah.
not focused on
and
comics,
I feel like
which
they
sucks.
are too focused on how can we make the comic books like the movies.
Yeah, that's something I don't like.
Where DC needs to start doing, which I think they're probably gonna, depending on how James Gunn does it, because James Gunn is very loyal to source material. How can we make the movies more like the comic books?
Yeah.
And which is what he did. Look what he did with Suicide Squad. It's like, damn, this is. pretty
And that's
fucking
why
fun.
so, like,
I don't know how many times I've seen
Yeah,
Suicide Squad.
and that's why
but-
things like that new Superman thing. Like he even said, the creator of it said, "Oh, they're just 3-issue stories. So every 3 issues, you'll get a new story." And I'm like, that's fucking cool because I'm reading these Marvel books now, and I'm reading it. And I'm like, I feel like they're writing this to try to. It feels like it's being written like a Disney Plus TV
what
show.
Marvel needs to
and I'm
do,
like,
they
I
tried
don't
to
want it
keep
like that.
running for too long. It's
Yeah.
like, listen, it's cool and all. DC really, they have ends. They have different. Like, the title will continue, but you get a year and that story wraps.
Yeah.
Where Marvel, I feel like sometimes you can be 2 years into it and it's like all right, another issue.
Well, that's why I'm like iffy about the Rogue and Gambit series because like I'm reading it, I'm like, all right, it's okay, but
Where's
I feel
the-
like
yeah,
they're
where's the
writing
middle?
it like
Like-
they're trying to make this into a Disney like this is like
A
their
series.
pitch. Like, oh, read this. This is the pitch, and it's like. I feel like you shouldn't write a book to try to make it into something. Just write the book as it is.
write the
Just
book,
make a good book.
make a
That's all I
story.
want. Yeah, that's all. And I think that's why like Image is still one of my. That's why I'm reading more Image and DC stuff because that's what they're doing. They're not worried about let's try to write this book to make it into a movie or a TV show. They're just like let's make a fucking book, and if it works, it works.
Yeah.
Like that's it.
Well, all right, so I got another follow-up question for you.
Mhm.
So that was a comic book that you recommended.
Mhm.
What is an adaptation that hasn't been done yet or touched that you'd like to see done?
Oh, that is a really good question. Mine's kind of obscure because it's something new, and I don't think a lot of people have read it unless you know about it. And it's a series called Red Room. It's a comic book series called Red Room.
Yep.
It is each issue is one story, and it's literally about murderers on the dark web, but it's so like with the times.
Yeah.
I think it could work on like an HBO Max if it's done well. It's gory, it's like very vulgar, it's like way over the top.
Or
but
like
it's,
on Netflix. Netflix. would
yeah,
like that.
it's a Fantagraphics book for people who don't know. It's written and drawn by Ed Piskor. They run Cartoonist Kayfabe, which we're huge fans of. They're both wrestling fans and comic book fans. Great YouTube channel. I actually got their grand designs right there for him and Jim Rugg. But Red Room would definitely be what I would want just because it's so different. It's not what you usually get. If we're talking about directly superhero stuff or like newer comics,
it could be anything.
Actually, it
Not
wouldn't be
doesn't
superhero.
have to be newer.
I would want Immortal Sergeant, something we talked about in the last one.
Yeah.
I would want this as an animated TV show because I think this would be awesome. Yeah. How about
Let's see.
anything from you?
I'll pick 2 as well.
I know mine are real obscure.
The first one is one that I've been saying it will only work as an episodic TV series. You can make as many movies as you want, but the way the stories and characters are written only works as a series, and that's the X-Men. It only works as a series. I get it. You want to make as much box office as you do, and that's cool. But if you get the right actors, you have the characters that people love. Doesn't have to be big names. It just has to be a good story. And if you got your Storm, your Wolverine, your Cyclops, your Jubilee, your Jean Grey, your Rogue, Gambit, Psylocke, and Beast, and Xavier,
Yep.
that's all you need.
That's it.
all you fucking need. And where are you going to get your source of material from? Boom. You got 25 years of it from the 90s to now.
And Uncanny, there's like 400 something issues of comics you can pull
crazy.
from. It's like
it's crazy. And then just think of the characters. You can have a different villain every year and still introduce 10 villains that support them every season. There's so many different characters. Even if your main cast leaves, you can replace them with other major names. Oh, we're not going to have Jubilee this season. That's fine because we have Shadowcat.
Yep.
Oh, Gambit left. That's cool because we got Colossus.
Yep.
Oh, Beast is not here. He's not going to be a recurring character this season. He's going to be supporting, but that's fine because now we have Forge or
Yep.
Morph or, you
Yep.
know, or like major, like cool names and characters. Like, oh, and there's also a side story. Is, hey, you know what? We're going to have 4 seasons of this, and it's all going to culminate in a massive crossover event with the other stuff. What's the series? Phoenix Saga.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, you know what? Maybe 10 to 12 episodes of Phoenix Saga is the right way to take instead of a 3-hour movie.
Mm-hmm. Give it time to flesh out.
Come on, guys. Like,
Yeah.
X-Men is a TV series. It's not... What made the cartoon so good is that you had time to flesh out these characters. People fell in love with these characters, and the reason why people are so pissed off when they don't get what they want on TV or on the movies. You know, Gifted was great because you got to spend time with characters that the only one you knew was Polaris.
Yeah.
And that's if you were a diehard X-Men fan. I'm sorry. Like, if you're a casual, you don't know who Polaris is. You don't know who her dad is, her sister, all that stuff. You don't know that she's part of that crazy family or whatever,
Yeah.
or depending on which comic series you're reading. But, like, and that's the only person you know. And, like, and then the fact that they introduced all these other characters, but you gave a shit about them because you get to spend time with them. And it's like, those are characters you had no connections to. Like, no connections to. And that show was great. And the only reason why it got canceled is because they got bought out by Disney. So it's just like, damn, like, give them another shot. Like, X-Men is a TV series. It will always be a TV series.
And it'll sell because I remember even when Days of Future Past came out, and people were like, "Oh, bro, it's fucking Blink and Warpath."
Blink?
At the beginning of the movie, like, holy shit!
It is Blink.
2 characters that we'd
Blink.
never see live action.
Is Blink.
Yeah.
Is Blink. Jean Grey. Is she
Warpath.
Storm? Like, no. You know what? But you know who they got crazy off? You know who people screamed when died on screen? Sunspot.
Yeah.
Sunspot died.
I got Sunspot
and
over
people
there.
are like, ah! Like, yeah, because people love these other characters.
Imagine if they had time to flesh out their backstories and their
Listen,
characters.
you can have your main 10 or whatever, like the diehard, like, boom, these are the X-Men. Everybody's like, you don't even need origin stories. Listen, I know these characters already. Cool. Is this, you want to introduce, you know, Kitty Pryde in season 3, and then by season 5, she's part of the X-Men? Great. You know, but yeah, you could also substitute those characters with other characters that we know because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
There's so many of them. Show me the death of Morph and how that fucked up Wolverine and all that stuff.
Give me
And
the live action Wolverine touching the picture of Jean and
Jean,
Cyclops.
yeah. Like, come on. Like, come on. It's like, that's all I need. That's all I swear if Deadpool does not put that in there, I'm going to be like, oh, this is a missed opportunity. And you know what? And
I hope he's doing it, but it's him and Colossus.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's Colossus and
I hope
and
Wolverine
Negasonic
walks
Kitty's
into.
warhead,
I hope Wolverine walks into the room and Deadpool's in that spot, holding the picture, and it's Wolverine. It's like, oh my god, like that'd be it.
Oh man, but
Or even make a joke out of it. Have it be Logan, and then be like, what are you doing? And like, nothing. Leave me alone.
he opens it, it's Deadpool from Origins.
Or just make it even funnier. Just have it be the actual cartoon picture of Jean and Scott. Just
That'd
like,
be great.
Same exact
be
picture
great.
right out of the cartoon.
Oh
Just like,
man,
leave me alone.
but
But X-Men, a true 90s X-Men into a TV series, that is an adaptation that hasn't been done before. They've tried somewhat, but it's always black leather and or everybody's dead.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, still waiting for my guy Cyclops to get some love, but
Yeah.
it's like, I'm hoping now, you know, Kevin Feige seems to be like, yeah, comic books are cool, guys. Let's just do comic book stuff. I don't know. I think right now what's happening is people are ready for these characters. We're getting all these other characters, and people are getting antsy. But I think once they drop X-Men, and it's the X-Men, people are gonna be like, fucking finally.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
yeah,
But I also think it's got to be a TV show.
yep,
It's got to be a TV show. Like,
Yeah.
Sure, you want to cross them over in Avengers, you know, cool. That's awesome. But let's do it a TV show of what it was supposed to be or what it is.
yeah.
I had something else in my mind. I totally forgot what the second one was. And the one that is coming, though, Berserker.
Yep, I was about that was
Keanu
my other
Reeves,
one, Berserker.
Berserker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're getting that. I'm real stoked.
As long
for
as they,
that.
Keanu's doing it, so that's all I care about.
And the series wrapped up. All 12 issues are done.
So
we
now
just gotta wait.
they're writing the series.
And
now.
I'm currently on issue 6. I'm halfway through.
Yeah.
I'm trying to catch up. I used to buy the issues or read them in my car because I couldn't wait.
Yeah.
And then I kind of got backed up on a couple issues, but I gotta catch up now. But I'm stoked to finish it and see how it ends.
It's hard because I feel like every good comic
The
book,
last issue is so thick too. It's a big issue.
I feel like every good comic book or cool comic book gets bought and made into a series.
Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah.
just wait for it. I'm sure it's coming. I mean, we have been waiting 20 years for Spawn, so who knows?
Oh man.
Jamie Foxx, I feel like got cast 15 years ago.
And you would think McFarlane, he loves making his toys, getting some movie Spawn figures. Come on.
Yeah.
But
Jamie Foxx, I mean, what is holding this movie back? Like, what is? Another thing is Crow. Like that falls into the same lines. It's like, but I think Crow.
I got some alternate Crow comics there.
But I also feel like Crow will be something that will benefit from a series as well. We did
The
series
TV show
was
good.
fun.
It was
like,
good.
It was really fun.
They said, "Hey, let's just do the movie, but make it a TV show."
Just make it a TV
And
show.
It worked.
Like, all right, we got to pull back on the violence a little bit, but like, it worked because the stories were good. Like,
I have.
and they
the
could
DVD.
definitely do it now. HBO Max, you do a Crow on there. Like,
Oh yeah.
Even if it's not like a multi-season thing, give me one season Crow. I'm in for that ride.
Yeah.
Like that's how they should do Crow. As a HBO Max special presentation, give me 12 episodes or 10 episodes of this, and then
There we go.
send it off. That'll keep me happy for the next 25 years again.
But I think we could talk for another 25 years. But
Yeah.
this is the one shot.
This is the shot. This is the
one
short.
shot. I know.
Yeah.
A 35-minute short.
We'll come back. We'll come back.
But also, thank you guys for listening to the one shot. Remember to add us on Patreon. $2.
I'm supposed to be here today.
$2 gets you the issue. The issues every month. If you subscribe now, you have 3 issues before this. You have the one shot that's free on there already, and the past 2 issues, which is pretty fucking awesome. So we hope to see you guys next time on the next issue. I think actually this is a little teaser of it. The topic on the next issue. Drew might be here. Who knows who'll be here in the next one? It's gonna be our current thoughts on the MCU. So this is a good little taste test for what's to come in issue 3 coming in May of 2023. So we will see you guys then.
Jump in.
And you all stay safe.
See ya.